Yeah, 1 2 1 2. Hey yo, AC. 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Hey, can y'all hear me out there? Hey. Against all odds. 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 The podcast.
All right, people, what's happening, man? It is what night is it? Is it Tuesday night? I think it's Tuesday night. That means it's off the cuff. Hope everybody's doing all right. Had a little technical issues going on, man. You got to give me just 1 second to make sure that we're all good. We had a brief storm that caused some havoc, so everything was a mess. You guys should be able to hear me and see me. If you can't, let me know. Make sure the volume's all good. I know we've had some complaints on volume, so I want to make sure we're good on volume. And then we'll get rolling. All right, and I know we've got some sort of a delay on video too. I'm not sure. I'll figure that out tonight when we get done. So anyway, Off the Cuff is back on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. And Rise and Grind morning show, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning from 8 to 10 a.m. Please do me a favor. If you guys have not subscribed yet, please do that for us. Like the stream, and that helps us with the algorithm. We plan on getting right back into the algorithm here soon. Man, I can't wait. I'm itching. I'm itching for football. Like, I really can't wait. I'm excited about it. We have it's just funny. I just saw somebody in there by the name of Willie B Man, and I'm pretty positive that was my alter name on an old social media account. It was Willie Beeman, back in the day from that movie. God, I can't remember that movie now with Jamie Foxx. He was the quarterback. Willie Beeman. God, what was that movie? Anyway, it doesn't matter. So it just caught me off guard there. Anyway, hope you're all doing good tonight. Hope you guys are staying cool, man. It has been rough, right? It has been rough. You know, the one thing you have to know about your AC, if you don't know this, like when it's 100 and some odd degrees out, sometimes you just got to shut that AC off. Otherwise, it could freeze. And if it freezes, it's a problem. So just be careful. I actually went out and cleaned mine today. I took the whole thing apart, sprayed it down, cleaned it out, all good to go. So I gave it a break for a little bit, but yep, $700 electric bill incoming for the month of June. Thank you, June. Nothing but Arnold Palmer's all day. All right. Now, I'm not trying to be clickbaity with the title. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't even know how to put this title together tonight. I'm looking for stuff to talk about. We got Ragnow's cap space with some salary cap news. We have an article that popped out talking about potentially DJ Reader getting traded by camp. And so we'll dig into that. And then same thing about Brodric Martin, potentially the Lions moving on from Brodric Martin this year, which that one's like less shocking. I mean, it could happen, right? I mean, they're fairly deep, even though we're missing Aleem McNeil right now. And I'll state my case in a minute, but even though we're missing a couple of players, I think that and I'll get into it, but if we're going to have a Brodric Martin cut in his third year or potentially traded, I don't even know who would trade for him. I don't think it would happen in the beginning of the season. I don't think it would happen in the summer, but we'll find out. I'll talk about it here in just a moment. And then AI slop site. So shout out to Mike Payton tonight, man. He put this article out, and it caught my eye today, where it says thousands of Detroit Lions fans are being lied to. And when I saw that, I'm like, okay, I got to read this one. I have to, right? Zipping around on the lawnmower at 7 o'clock this morning. I gotta read this one. Or it wasn't 7. I don't know. It was like 4 or 5 hours ago. Whatever it was. Seems like it was 7 o'clock this morning. Been going since 5:30. So I'm reading this article, and then I stopped, and I'm like, this is good, because you guys see it. You see it all the time on Facebook, right? You see all these fake sites, these AI sites, or I like to call them. I've had to deal with a lot of them. Right? I had to kick them out of my groups. A lot of them coming from Africa, and just a bunch of garbage. Right? It's all clickbait, and I think finally people are starting to realize it's not legit. However, now there's AI, and AI is making things look pretty spiffy, right? I mean, you can't even tell apart what's real and what's fake anymore. Besides those, ones on YouTube Shorts that, they got the shark or something that's trying to jump onto the boat. I mean, come on. Like, we know those are fake, right? But you still watch it. You still watch it. Just like the crap that you're going to click about the Lions, you're still going to read it. You're still going to watch it. For whatever reason, I don't know. I guess our brains are wired weird. So we're going to talk about that. But first, I want to get into a little bit of Ahmed Hassan. Tonight's going to be a little bit about the defensive line. I mean, it's kind of a defensive line update. But Ahmed had a really nice video pop out, and it's about his strength. But I went back to another video, and I want to highlight both of those real quick because I think that Ahmed I think he's got some aces up his sleeve, man. I really do. I think this guy has something in store for us. So, let me cue that up real quick. Let me cue that up. So this media source, why is it? Okay, it should work. Here we go. Let me transition real quick. Of course, only one is playing now. But this is the one from earlier. Why is this one the only one playing? This is the one that popped out earlier. I mean, that is, you guys, that's 8 plates on an Olympic bar. That's 8 plates. Someone do the math. 8 times 45. I didn't even do the math yet. And for some reason, my other one's not showing up. I don't know why. What in the world's going on? I had them side by side. Interesting. All right, let me come back to that one because I want to show you another one, but that's 8 plates. I haven't seen the chat yet if you guys figured out the math yet, but that's 8 times 45. That's 360 plus another 45 for the bar. That's 405 at least if that's a 45-pound bar, which it should be. So he puts up 405 3 times. That's massive. But the most impressive one is not that one. So let me get out of this one. Let me jump back into this. I got to figure out why this other one's not playing. This other one's more impressive because this is what he did at his pro day. And I honestly believe that this dude he's going to be legit. He's going to flat out be legit. All right, now it wants to play. Sorry, I don't know. Technical difficulties, man. It's just one of those days. One of those days, man. Oh my goodness, it works. Holy cow. All right, on the left side, this is pro day. So that's what, 225 or 235. Let's see, we got 445s. It should be 225. But I know some guys do 235 just because they want to be different. Yeah, that's 225. 34 times. Look at him breeze through this. I know you're counting. I'm counting too. Just humming, man. How many of you could do that back in the day? Come on now. That was a piece of cake back in the day, right? Just rewind the old Father Time by 25 years. Yeah, ain't no way. Maxing, that was one thing, but doing 225 this many times, yeah, not me. Not me. Incredible. I'm so stoked to see what this dude does. So stoked. So I don't know about you guys, but that's pretty impressive stuff. Pretty impressive stuff to see that kind of strength that is now going to be on this defensive line. So when you imagine, the big guy, the big end, the Marcus Davenport side, that's where I see Ahmed is going to play. Now, we've listened to Corey a few times where, obviously he knows what his brother can do, and he's got a really great idea of what he thinks his brother's going to be able to do at this next level. And I think that, he's pretty confident that he can play both sides. He can be the speed guy. He can be the can crusher. I'm just hoping that he slots in and just finds his niche and whatever works the best, that the Lions and Calvin Shepard are able to pull, all of that out of him. And I think they will. I think they will. I think that Ahmed is going to be a big surprise this year. I really do. I will not be surprised one bit if he has a pretty good season. Obviously, we need guys to stay healthy. I mean, the depth chart's kind of an issue, right? I mean, we're pretty deep. We got a lot of guys right now on the defensive side of the football, and they did that for a reason, right? I mean, he brought a lot of guys back from last season that, I mean, they had a damn good year for being, third, fourth on the depth chart, or fourth and fifth on the depth chart, or fifth and sixth on the depth chart, and then everybody before you gets injured, and now you get a shot to kind of show what you can do. And they won a lot of football games. They won a ton of football games. And for me, I was super impressed, but if you watch this channel throughout the year, you will know that I was one of the guys that kept saying every week we were going to win. Every week. I kept saying it. Every week we weren't going to have a problem with pressure. I thought that we were going to be just fine getting after the quarterback, and the Lions did not let me down. Obviously, we've talked about this many times. The last game of the year for us was rough. And those are the games, you've heard it from some of the Lions themselves, that say those are the games that you have to be healthy in, right? As healthy as you can be. You can't be down, 15, 16 guys on one side of the ball. You can't be down even 7, 8 guys on one side of the ball. And especially the guys that you needed most that were not healthy at that time. I want to take this a little bit further on Ahmed here. Bear with me. I just got to pull this up. So Ahmed Hassan, earlier this year, there was some Q&As done, obviously, during rookie OTAs or rookie minicamp and then OTAs. A lot of quotes by Ahmed. I mean, he's a polarizing figure right now. Obviously one of the guys that not a lot of people knew before the draft. And then you knew during or leading up to the draft, there's a guy from Egypt and he's going to be invited to the combine. And man, did he just take the world by storm. And it hasn't stopped. He's got a ton of pressure on him, a ton of pressure. And I'm hoping he can deal with it well. So he was asked about the pressure. More importantly, getting pressure on the quarterback, right? And during one of the OTAs, I can't remember if this was rookie minicamp or if this was OTAs, but he said, he was asked how he did or how he felt. And he said, I loved it. I loved it. I love the opportunity to be out there. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying my time. I'm doing my job. I'm picking up the playbook. I'm learning a lot. There's stuff I never knew. Learning about the defensive line. Casey Rogers does an amazing job explaining the whole defense, which is what I needed. He went on to say, it's his most famous phrase, right? See ball, get ball. He said, it's not just see ball, get ball all the time. This is the NFL. This is the highest level you can ever play at. So when I understand what my other DN does and what my D tackle does, I add off of that. And I also do my thing. We're all learning each other's position and learning that the back end can help with the front end, which is huge, right? We know that. I talk about that a lot last year. I know that some people like to call it coverage sacks, but it's just playing football, right? It's just defense. If your back end is really good, your front's going to be even better. And vice versa. If your front, as NASCAR is getting after the quarterback, your back end doesn't have to do as much. They just have to be there when that ball's coming out under 2.5 seconds. But I'll digress off of that talk for today. Anyway, he says, when I got here, I was like, wow, that makes sense now. So it's kind of unlocking things that I never knew. There was another statement that he made that you guys hear from me again all the time. I say that, every guy, every football player at this level has everything, from the shoulder down. These guys are all physical specimens. They have, they have the muscles, right? They have the speed. They have the strength. They have everything that they need in that vehicle of a body. But what are they going to do from here up, right? Are they going to get it from the shoulders up? Is their mental going to be ready to go? Are they going to be able to learn at a fast pace and then execute what they've learned? That's the biggest question. It's exactly what he said. Excuse me. It's exactly what he said is, I got to find it. Essentially, I'll paraphrase. He just said, I just got to keep studying the playbook, keep learning, keep developing, getting stronger in the weight room, getting even stronger, but working on my techniques, my fundamentals, my get-offs, because I can really do something here. I truly believe that. But he also said he really needs to work on his mental. And that's a big key. It's a huge key. Getting it from the neck up is not easy. It's not easy. That's why not everybody succeeds at the next level. So it looks like we got a few people in tonight. Appreciate you guys all jumping in. Do me a quick favor. Like, share, right? Subscribe. Share it later. Subscribe if you would, please. We need to get to 10,000. I was trying to give away 2 tickets to opening day, and I know we can add 700, 800 subscribers in a month or two. We used to do that in a couple of weeks. I know it's the off season, but this is where we got to pick up some steam, and we could use your help getting to that 10,000. Not that we really need to have a ton more subscribers, but it would help, right? We want to give out tickets. We're giving away a ton of training camp tickets, at least 100 again this year. There's a lot of people that are in the chat, tonight that have received training camp tickets from me. And if you're a member, you're going to get your first crack at it. I think the lowest tier is like $1.99 or something, or $2.99 to become a member and support the channel. And we'll continue to give away things like we always do. As far as jersey guys, there's a lot of people that are owed jerseys right now, or at least a few people that are owed jerseys from the draft. About a week or so, we should be caught up. I didn't realize that the email didn't go out, so I will be caught up with John next week, and we'll make all that happen. So if you're waiting on a jersey, it'll be coming. Speaking of jerseys, though, give me one sec. Give me one sec. I'll be right back. I don't even have my commercial. Hold on. All right, if you are owed a jersey, like I said, about a week or so, we should be caught up. And then I'm going to be giving away a rocked on jersey. So number 11, it can be blue, black, white, doesn't matter. I rock the black ones. I'm probably going to get a white one. I'll probably just get all 3. But anyway, if you want a rocked on jersey, they're going to be limited. I'm not going to do a bunch. Of course, you could make your own if you really wanted to. But I'm going to give it away. And not that our signature is worth anything, but we're going to sign it. And, rock it out. Wear it to your game. Hell, if you win tickets, there you go. That's going to be also, there's going to be some raffles for these two. We're going to be doing raffles here beginning this week again. And as we always do, we do raffles for jerseys, tickets now, you name it. There's going to be all sorts of stuff happening. So, all right, let's get into the rest of what color are the members, says One Major Pain. I think they're all blue, aren't they? Or are they all green? I think they're all green. I don't know. We've got a lot of mods and a lot of members. So let's get into this main subject of tonight, which is, you know, some guys that are potentially going to be released. Now, you guys know me. I don't necessarily believe in this stuff. I know that it's the lull, you know, the season right now, and we're trying to find stuff to talk about. We're trying to find stuff to write. I haven't been writing at all, and it's hard, right? It's hard, but that doesn't mean I think that we need to throw some guys underneath the bus and make up these stories, because I feel like that's what this is. And I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not doing any of that. These are just kind of what if stories, like the made up stories. You know what I mean? That's really what they're supposed to be. They're kind of like, well, maybe this will happen, or maybe that will happen. I really don't know, but it's an opinion. However, the Brodric Martin one might have a little bit of legs to it. And I only say that because we're stacked. Like this is a good problem to be in for the Lions. The defensive line is stacked. And I know some of you don't feel that way. I know a lot of people think that we need another defensive end, and I'm telling you, we're going to be just fine. Whether or not Z comes back, I don't even think it matters. I think that this defense is going to be just fine. It was last year to 15 games. If we can stay healthy this year, I don't even care if we win 13, as long as we take the North and get into the playoffs. That's the only thing that matters, because from there, I think that we'll be all right. So Lions predicted to split with, we'll start with Brodric Martin, promising $5.5 million football player here. Let me roll it in. And I'll bounce back to the chat just one sec. So this is by Heavy Sports. Ann Erickson, if that's her real name, she's been writing for a while. Talking about the Detroit Lions having plenty of options. Talking about the Detroit Lions having plenty of options and players on their roster and guys who have already proved their worth. Players such as Jared Goff, Aiden Hutchinson, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. But let me rewind this. We're talking about the Lions predicted to split with a promising $5.5 million player, right? Earlier, this had Brodric Martin on the front of this. Earlier, right? There he is. So it goes on to say that when it comes to some of the lesser-known names of the Lions roster, a few might not make it to September. It's the nature of the sport. And now the Lions are being predicted to drop a once promising defender. I don't know about all that. Before training camp starts. Before training camp starts. Somebody explain how that makes sense. Why would we drop Brodric Martin before training camp starts? If we were going to drop him at all, it would have happened already. You're not going to go through all of this and then, you know, a couple of weeks before training camp say, we're just gonna open up a roster spot. See ya. It's so she's saying that the Lions are gonna part with a former 3rd round pick, which we know is Brodric Martin, but honestly, it was basically a 4th round pick. I mean, I'll read this and then I'm gonna give you my take. So, on it says in a Monday, June 23 feature, Chris Schad of Detroit Jock City predicts. Which, that Detroit Jock City, I can't stand that one either. It's just a spin-off, I think, of Lions on SI. I think it's owned by the same company. And I think it's just kind of like, it's just, to me, that's almost like that AI stuff. But, so anyway, it says that, predicts that one player who might get the boot before training camp is Brodric Martin. 3rd round pick by the Lions of 2023. Martin has only appeared in 5 games in the past 2 seasons. And Shad says that, quote, the 3rd-year player has also made minimal impact when he's been on the field, logging just 4 tackles and has yet to log a sack after coming out of Western Kentucky. All right. So let me break this part down. Mr. Shad, do you know that Brodric Martin is a defensive tackle. Okay, now that you know that, did you know that DJ Reader had his best year ever last year with 3 sacks? You say that again. DJ Reader had his best season ever with sacks with 3. And you're thinking that Brodric Martin, in the limited amount of snaps that he has had, should already have a sack. That's where I lose faith in people writing stuff. Shad also says that Levi Onwuzurike, Roy Lopez, and Tyleik Williams are considered locks for the roster. I would agree. But we are also down Aleem McNeil. Now, Mekhi Wingo, who he also mentions, these guys are locks for the roster, heading into training camp. Also, we have Mekhi Wingo, but he's injured, right? But he's a front runner for that 4th spot. I would also agree. And then he says also, it's not likely that McNeil will be ready for the start of the season. We know that. He's not expected till early November. The Lions may want to allocate more roster spots toward one of their deepest positions or deeper positions, including the 10-player battle royale they have at linebacker. Yeah, I think linebacker's fairly figured out already. You're going to have, Malcolm Rodriguez on IR still. And then we don't know what's going on with Alex Anzalone. But after that, I think that one's fairly figured out. Grant Stewart, Jack Campbell, Derek Barnes, they're locks. Alex Anzalone, he's under contract. He's a lock. What am I missing? Outside of Malcolm Rodriguez still being on IR, I mean, there's not a 10-player battle. I'd say it's just a couple of guys battling for a spot. And honestly, Cunningham, he's probably that 5th lock. So I would say the Lions don't really have a big battle at linebacker. Saving an extra spot for a linebacker just wouldn't make sense. You have 3 on the field. You have 6 players on that take up the 53-man roster, and that's about it. Chad also believes that this will take a lot for Martin. It'll take a lot for Martin to stay with the team. He even says the player will need to have the training camp of his life just to make the active roster. I agree with that. I do. But I don't think it's a lock that Martin would be on his way out if he didn't. The Lions need depth. Brodric Martin had a knee injury last year in the last preseason game. I think it was against the Giants. Memory's terrible, so might not have been. But it was the last preseason game. And knee injuries, for big guys, they're anywhere from, 6 to 12 weeks. You don't know. It could go longer. You could tweak it a little bit in practice. A couple of games that he got in, he may have tweaked it then, but it's a lot harder for big men to come back. It is. You're putting all that weight on that knee, and it's just not easy. So, his rookie year, I didn't expect anything out of him. We went through this roster the other day, right? That looked at all of the different, 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round, 6th round, 7th round picks, right? All round picks that each team has and how many they have. And the Lions have way more priority UDFAs. They're first, right? They're tied for first with 12. And there's some teams that have a lot of 3rd rounders. There's some teams that don't have many. 3rd rounders play less than 15%, or start less than 15% of all 3rd rounders start in the NFL. So when Brodric Martin comes in, I'm not expecting anything. That's a guy that you would hope becomes an eventual rotational player at some point. Not a starter. He's not a guy that's going to take snaps from, Aleem McNeil. He's not a guy that's going to take snaps from DJ Reader. He's a guy that's probably going to come in and get 35 to 40% of the snap share until a guy like Reader is gone. And when Reader is gone, you hope that he's ready to go. I would say that was probably the plan for Brodric Martin. Let me finish this article, and then I'll keep talking myself into my take, I guess, tonight. He says the Detroit has one of the best rookies in the NFL. That's the next headline. Looking at this season's rookies in a story published Thursday, June 29 by Rob Rang of Fox Sports. This goes into talk about Tate. I'm sorry. I thought it went into talk about Tyleik. So we can move along off of this one. Okay. Now, I'd like to know in the chat. You guys tell me. What do you think about, I'm sure you guys have been talking about it. I'm just not, I haven't been able to see it. Is Brodric Martin going to, if he has a good camp and he stays healthy, you know, last year, I think a lot of us would agree that Brodric Martin looked pretty good. So let me start a poll, I guess. And let's do this. Will Brodric Martin, oh, maybe I'm not typing. Will Brodric, Mr. Martin here. We'll just go Bro Mart. Make the 53. If he has good camp. Yes or no, start the poll. So for me, I say yes. I can't vote, but I would say yes. And the reason why I'm going to say yes is very simple. We need guys right now. Now that doesn't mean that if Lee McNeil comes back and he's healthy, that he's going to get shifted to the practice squad, because I think he would. It also depends on Roy Lopez staying healthy, right? We just don't know. That's why you don't cut a guy before camp, right? Because what if someone gets hurt in camp and your guy's gone now, a guy that you've invested some time in? That hurts you more than it helps you. Big time. All right, so Lions roster right now. Let's just run through it for the defensive tackle position. And this roster is not letting me whittle it down. Shoot. Pivot. Hold on. All right, here we go. Remember, we're 4-3 defense. That means we need 4 down linemen, 2 of which are usually defensive ends on every play. But right now you have a Lee McNeil. He's out. Okay, so take him off the list. Behind him, you have Levi Onwuzurike. In my opinion, he's the guy right now is the starter for Lee McNeil. Behind him, you have Mekhi Wingo. He's out. Last I knew, he could make training camp. It's going to be tough for him to make it to week 1, the last I heard. You also have Miles Adams, who is still young. I think this is his 4th, 5th season. And he was looking pretty good last year. He came in his first game. This is his 4th season. Came in his first game, got a sack. Not that sacks are the end-all, be-all, but it showed the guy can play the game of football. So you've got a Lee McNeil. He's out. Mekhi Wingo, I'm not going to count on. You got Levi and Miles. You need them both. There's 2. DJ Reader's healthy. You need him. That's 3. Tyleik Williams, we know, is going to be ready to rock and roll. That's 4. Roy Lopez, that's 5. And Bromart, that's 6. It is pretty heavy, right? It is a pretty stacked defense. If everybody was healthy, you have 8 guys there. I expect the Lions are probably going to keep an extra body somewhere. Some positions, it could be offensive line, because in just the given, situation with Frank Ragnow's retirement, they might need an extra guard / center, someone that they can, continue to groom and to make sure that they have someone, kind of waiting in the wings, so to speak, that should somebody get injured. Trying to find my measurements here. Spreadsheet. Which will have last year's 53-man roster on it. Okay, so last year, I don't remember how many guys we had. You know what? I'm just going to look it up. It'll be easier. All right, last year, I want to say we had 10 defensive line total. Now, that's edge and D tackles. Oh, I stand corrected. We had 9. That's right. Brodric Martin was injured. So we had Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport, James Houston. So that's 3 edge. That's right. John Kaminsky was hurt too. That was that funny. See, that was that funny year of, injuries and not knowing how to play it, right? Not knowing how to play the roster. It ended up working out to the Lions' favor, right? For this year, getting that rule passed. That's a direct result of what happened to them last year. So they had 9. I think that they wanted to keep 10, but you had Kaminsky and Brodric Martin injured. They kept 9, but they went with Lee McNeil, DJ Reader, Levi O, Josh Pascal, that's 4. And Mekhi Wingo, that's 5. That are D tackles. So you had 4 edge and 5 D tackles. Now, that's interesting, right? How did I miss Josh Pascal earlier? How do they have him listed as? They have him listed as a left defensive end currently. ESPN does. So that's another D tackle, right? That's another hybrid guy. So I guess let me look at the poll. You guys tell me. I don't think it's going to be that hard for Bromart to not make at least the practice squad. I don't think he's going to be gone. I think he's going to make the roster. He'll make the top 69. Maybe that was a better poll question. I think he'll make the top 69. For sure. But man, if he just comes out and plays the way that he was last year, how can you deny this guy's size? I mean, his wingspan alone eats up 2 gaps. That's a run stuffer. We need someone that can eventually take the role of DJ Reader. Tyleek Williams, as we are learning, is more of that dancing bear like Aleem McNeil. When he sheds a few pounds, if the Lions want him to shed a few pounds, he's going to be as good as Aleem McNeil, and that's going to be dangerous. As a matter of fact, here, let me go to an old Greenlight podcast video. I think I still have it queued up. Let me see if I have it. Because Brad talks about it, right? He tells us exactly what we need to know. I do have it. No, I don't have Edge. All right, we'll listen to the Edge one real quick so I can take a brief break. Let's listen to what Brad says about Edge. And I'll be right back. And then I want to finish the conversation on Martin, and then we're going to roll right into DJ Reader.
Let's talk about the edges and maybe this is a chance for you to get your Brandon Bean on. By that, I mean, it's tell the media that they don't know what the hell they're talking about sometimes, where you guys are 3rd in the league in pressure rate last year. Yeah. And, it's like, it feels like probably every week you're fielding a question about, hey, how about another edge rusher, that sort of thing. Just give me the state of the edge position for you. I think obviously a lot of people want to know how Hutchinson's progressing. Yep. But I also thought, as a side note, and I read something this morning about Big Z possibly coming back, I thought that was one of the most impactful signings of the year on any team.
Yeah.
Talk about pulling a rabbit out of your hat. I love his game, and it showed up in Detroit. So what's it look like out on the edge?
Yeah, so, Aiden looks great, man. He's been out there in OTAs. Really didn't expect anything else. You never truly know because you don't have a crystal ball, yeah. But just knowing how that guy's wired and how he attacks things and how in tune he is with his body, it did not surprise me. I mean, he's out there. He looks explosive. He's changing direction. I mean, he looks really good, man. And then we brought back Marcus Davenport on a 1-year deal. He was playing really good football for us before he unfortunately got hurt, man. And so hopefully he gets better luck on his side. And so, and he's been out there, and I would say he's coming just as good, man. I mean, he has been, his body is feeling great. His body looks great, man. And he had a good summer as well in terms of the OTAs. And then, we brought Al-Qadim Muhammad back that we signed last year, who logged some good snaps for us, played good football, plays hard. He's physical. He'll set edges, man. He plays with a lot of effort. And then we were able to draft Ahmed Hassan from Boise in the 6th round, and he's just another guy. He's got some work to do from a developmental standpoint, just like they all do. But he's not some fish out of water, just raw, don't know what he's doing out there. I mean, when you look at his production, he had the most in terms of sacks and pressures combined the past 2 years. He had the most production out of all the edge rushers in that class, and just so happens that he plays with his hair on fire as well. So we feel good about where we're at that position. But just going back to the interior though, Chris, is, man, you know as well as anybody, like, man, if you're not good in the middle, I mean, I don't care what you have on the edges and that corner and say, man, if you're not good in the middle, it's hard, man. That's a hard life. And so that's why we were really happy to get Tyleek to really fortify that middle, along with DJ Reader still coming back. We're able to get Levi Onwuzurike back in free agency. And then, while we're having Aleem come back too, we were able to sign Roy Lopez in free agency.
Roy Lopez.
Yeah. So we feel really good about the middle, because if that's not right, man, it's just some long days on defense, man.
One more.
All right. I love how Chris goes, oh yeah, Roy Lopez. Oh yeah, Roy Lopez. Like he knows who Roy Lopez is. He does. Of course he does. All right. The reason why I wanted to share this again is because we're talking about Brodric Martin. For those of you that just joined, I seen 20 people just joined a minute ago. We're talking about him making the roster, and there's an article here by Heavy that is saying that Brodric Martin's potentially going to be gone before camp starts. And I don't see in any way, shape, or form that being even a possibility. Moreover, thinking through this a little bit, you guys heard the number, right? We were 3rd in pressures last year. And I know this seems like a common theme that we keep talking about, this same old. But I got to throw it back out there, because if we're 3rd in pressures with, 4th string guys, third, 4th string guys on the defensive line, 7th and 8th defensive end, could you imagine where we're starting this year with Aiden healthy? I mean, I can't say that number is going to get worse, but now Lee McNeil's out. So maybe that's a 1-for-1 trade-off. Liam's out, Aiden's in. That number shouldn't get worse, right? Tyleek is a pretty damn good football player. I'm expecting him to jump right in and hold it down for Aleem. So let's say all things stay gravy, right? Everything stays copacetic. We're doing the same thing we were last year. Everything looks good in training camp. Bro Mark can't hurt that, right? He can't hurt the defensive line. And he can only help us improve. He can only help us, against the run game. He can, help us in short down situations. There's a lot that he has yet to prove. I understand that. Brad took a big swing. It could be a big miss. But I'm not going to give up on a guy with that size who had a tragic knee injury last year that just took him a long time to get back from. And at that point, the Lions already went out and got new guys, and I think that's a point that's missed, is the Lions went out and grabbed guys that needed to play, and they were playing well. So why would you change that up and just throw Bromart back in? It wouldn't have made any sense. He was going to be used still at depth, but there was guys that they brought in that they were, going to bring up anyway, right? They have to be on the roster. You brought them over from someone's practice squad. They have to be on the team. So it's a roster shuffle. And I think, I think it's good that my channel, we discuss this kind of stuff, because I think other channels and writers and the big networks, I think they miss that sometimes. This is a roster game. It's not roster roulette like I'm talking about with, filling in the pipeline and bringing guys along and, what you do with contracts, when and where and how. It was a roster, shuffle, or roster gymnastics, as, some people like to refer to it. Bromar just wasn't going to play. When you bring 3 guys from a practice squad in one day, and if Bromart's not on the roster at that point, I'd have to go back and look, but even if he was, you're going to put him, keep him on IR, or you're just going to keep him shelved because those guys need to play. You need to see what you have. And some of those guys were probably better suited or healthier, ready to play. Maybe Brodric wasn't as healthy as he needed to be. He didn't get, I don't know, a handful of snaps last year? Wasn't much. So I'm not saying that I'm all in on the dude. Honestly, when I go back and look at what we have right now for a roster, I want Levi to work out. I just know we can't pay him. Right? We can't pay him and Aleem and everybody else. Mekhi Wingo, I mean, he's the guy that I'm really looking to take that big step forward. I hope that his injury is over sooner rather than later. But the guy that I'm most intrigued, well, two guys. The two guys that I'm most intrigued with this season is Miles Adams and Roy Lopez. Roy, Lopez, yeah, we brought him in from the Cardinals, a guy that has a lot of upside. He's got great experience. He can play the nose. He can also play the 3-tech, but he can play the nose pretty damn good. Miles Adams has a unique body style, and he has a unique way to his game. He flashed at times last season. At 6'2", 290, he's a little bit smaller. He's more of that pass rushing style of a defensive tackle. And I want to see what he has going through a full training camp this year. Same thing with Roy and the rest of the guys. I want to see where this defense ends up. So I'm out on Brodric Martin not making the roster. And I think he's going to make it. As long as he has as good of a camp as he had last year, I think he's going to make the roster. That's my story. I'm sticking to it for right now. Wait till I get in training camp and I give you the live updates from camp, and we'll see where this progresses. But for right now, I think that Bromart's safe at this time. It can change. It can change in a heartbeat. But according to our poll, man, it is slim pickings. We got 30 votes. We got 93 people in. Everyone go hit that poll real quick. The question is, will Brodric Martin make the 53-man if he has a good camp? So 30 votes so far. You got 107 people in now. Hit the poll real quick and go let us know what you think. 53% say yes. 48% say no. Now it's 52-48. We got 31 votes. Hit that poll real quick. We'd love to know. Now we got 110 people in. Come on, let's get 110 votes real quick. And then I'm going to end it. You got about 2 minutes. I know some of you are probably way behind on the podcast, but that's quite all right. By the way, while we're waiting for a few votes, there was a lady that just won like, I don't know, $1 million or $2 or something like that on a lotto ticket called Electric 100s. It was on the east side of the state. So I had a wild hair today, and I decided, you know what? I don't really ever gamble. Well, I mean, I used to, but I don't really gamble a whole lot. So I went and bought one. And I stopped scratching it because I wanted to do the last piece with you guys tonight. And I'm going to wait to the very end of the show, because if I just end the show and disappear, that means I won something good. Because right now I've got, here, I'll show you. It's at the very bottom, by my bottom finger, is a light bulb. And that means that I won. And then my multiplier up in the middle is 5 times. That could be 5 times $1 million. Could be 5 times $5. I don't know. But we're going to find out tonight what it is. How about yes or no in the poll? Am I going to win $1 million? Okay, 50% say yes. I'll take those odds. It's better than the damn ticket. Anyway, it'll be fun. All right, let's move on to the next headline here, which is DJ Reader. And this one's a bit shocking. I'm a bit surprised that that this is being written about DJ Reader. And I'm a bit perplexed at the number that they're coming up with, which is $22 million. So it's not $22 million for this year. All right, let me get this set up so I can bring it in. I should have been doing it the whole time, but too busy talking. Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't comment on something else too. What do you think about when Brad says, you know, I'm glad that Brad said the things that he says in that, you know, Green Light podcast. I'm glad that he says it's, you know, it's going to be a hard life, right? It's a hard knocks life. If you don't have a good core in the middle, right? If you don't have good defensive tackles, he says, I don't care what you have on the ends. I don't care what you have at the safety or the corner. If you don't have an interior defensive pressure or, you know, it's just not going to work. I've been saying that for years, people. And a lot of you have gotten all over my case because I say, forget the DE, fix the DT. Make that your priority, and I promise you the rest will come. And I don't know why, I get dogged on for that take. But your GM is saying the same damn thing. And he's saying it after I said it, right? Because I've been saying it for years, and now he's coming out and saying these things over the last year and a half. He's had some press conferences that have been pretty electric, where he's lighting up the press and kind of pushing back at the fan base, saying, y'all need to learn a thing or two about football and just let me do my thing, because I think Brad's put us in a pretty good position. I think you would all agree with that. I think that Brad has put this team, I mean, not only an opportunity to win, but, man, we have a chance to go all the way. And if you doubt what this guy has put together, and the fact that we were 9-8 after having one of the most worst rosters ever assembled in football because of Quinn Trisha, that whole era just, God, it was terrible. He's done some pretty amazing stuff, man. He really has. So believe in him, man. He's been doing this his whole life. I think he understands it a lot better than we do. I just happen to get a few things right. Doesn't mean I'm going to get everything right. You know, unfortunately, that's just the way life is. All right, this next one. Here we go. DJ Reader. What are they saying about him? Do you guys believe that DJ Reader is going to get cut, traded, not make the team? This one's by this Detroit Jock City. Again, oh yeah, it is powered by Fansided, so I forget who owns Fansided, but anyway, by Joe Summers a couple hours ago, says 22 million Lions defender. God, that is such a terrible title to me. Could be gone by training camp. And of course, they're talking about DJ Reader. Goes on to say that the Detroit Lions' significant roster and coaching turnover this year possesses a major challenge to the two-time defending NFC North champions. That's our Detroit Lions, in case you didn't know, who are hoping to fend off quality teams like the Minnesota Vikings. They are not quality right now. They got a great defense, but their offense is not going to be great with JJ, at least not the first year. Chicago Bears, they don't impress me right now. And the Green Bay Packers, which I think is the second best team right now in the North. Their defense faltered down the stretch in 2024. Did it? It did? The third best pressure rate in the entire league, it faltered? It fell apart in the last game because of injuries, yes. But the defense didn't falter. Defensive injuries, decapitated this defense. Anyway, ultimately imploding an embarrassing playoff loss to the Washington Commanders. I wouldn't say it was embarrassing. Yeah, we lost by about a dozen or so, but I wouldn't say it was embarrassing. I think that we held our own. To be honest with you, I wasn't happy about the game, but how could you be mad at the fact that you just lost another pivotal piece to your defense in Amik Robertson? Now, Detroit recognized the need to improve the interior of the defense. Well, at least this person gets that. They selected Ohio State standout defensive tackle Tyleik Williams. However, that action seemingly suggests that one 30-year-old veteran is on the chopping block. I can assure you, I'm going to give you my take right now. DJ Reader ain't going nowhere. Ain't no way. You just heard what Brad Holmes said, right? You need an interior presence. DJ Reader is now fully healthy. He just went through a full season after a major quad injury, his second one. And he had his best season coming off of that injury. And now you're getting a chance to have him fully healthy? Imagine what that's going to bring to the interior, with or without a lean. So talking about defensive tackle DJ Reader, who notched 3 sacks and 15 starts during his first year with the Lions. is the incumbent at Williams' position, and he's going to be starting week 1. The duo could theoretically work alongside each other or in a rotation, though the Lions stand to save a fair chunk of change if they move the former Houston Texan and Cincinnati Bengal. Okay, Reader ranked 55 out of 219 for qualified interior defensive lineman by PFF. I'd say that's pretty good for a guy coming off a major injury. That's a strong grade, though he's owed just under $13 million in 2025, which is a steal. So $22 million for 2 seasons, which not all of it was guaranteed. I want to say $15 million was guaranteed. He has to earn that $13 million, right? He might have about $9 million guaranteed or $8 million guaranteed. I'll just find out. So cap hit's 12.9. Guaranteed at sign on 2 years. He was only guaranteed $7.4 million. You seeing this? 2 years, $22 million, $11 million average, a $6.2 million signing bonus, and only 7.4 guaranteed. Man, I thought 15 of it was guaranteed, but 7.4? He has a ton to earn. So in 2025, he has a workout bonus, $200K, and incentives of $375, a roster bonus of $450. I'm sorry, roster bonus of $4 million. So if they were to walk away, if I were to manage this cap right now, oh, I got to sign in. Look at y'all going to steal my password. Haha, just kidding. Here's what I would like to do. I'm going to trade in post June 1. The Lions would stand to save $5 million over 2 seasons. 1.2 million this year. I'm sorry. I am so sorry that. Oh, what did I do with? I lost it. I got to go back. Whoops. What did I do? I lost it. There we go. Sorry about all that. So let me ask you guys: is it worth to get rid of DJ Reader for $1.2 million this year? You're gonna save $1.2 million to get rid of DJ Reader? Or are we? What are we smoking? Let's be honest, man. This doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. You say $5 million over 2 years, and you're not gonna have DJ Reader? That, come on, we're talking about one of the best defensive tackles in the league when he was healthy. Okay, so it goes on to say that the Lions were 19th in opponent rush yards at 4.5 with Reader up the middle, and Williams projects as a stout run defender. So they're trying to make a case for the rookie. I get that. But Reader up the middle at 4.5 with who, though? Because Ali McNeil was out at one point, which the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 games of the season, no Ali McNeil. So things changed. Our run defense was one of the best in the league last year, and it stood through most of the season. So I'm done with this article. Sorry. Let's end that poll. Oh, it changed. We got 40 votes. 47% think that Brodric Martin, 49% now think that Brodric Martin will make the roster. Dang, neck and neck. You guys are a split bunch. So, give me your take on this Jock City. $1.2 million in 2025. We're going to walk away from DJ Reader when we don't have a Lee McNeil. Come on, man. Ain't no way. It's like the 40-year-old guy on what is he, TikTok or YouTube? I could have been doing what? Psh, ain't no way. That guy. Ain't no way. Ain't no freaking way. And then he goes and makes some, I don't know, ice cream bread or something. Guy's funny. Ain't no way. All right, Ghost Ride 187 says DJ's going to be a stalwart for us. Carrie Simchick says, well, you're talking to Brent. Let's see here. Brent says, hell no. One Major Pain says, I believe Will said Aleem wouldn't be back until November. Yes, it's like end of October, early November is the earliest, is what they're talking about. That was the most recent information that I had seen anyway. One Major Pain says, Jack City is horrible. I honestly don't know why they created another website. Maybe they just want more, I don't know. I don't know. There's got to be a reason why you have multiple sites, but I guess it's the same reason why you have multiple channels on YouTube. I'm not even going to put a poll up because I think everyone will say that DJ's not going anywhere. And I don't think he is either. I really don't think he is either. Did I already go over the Lions getting lied to? I don't think I went over that one. Let me hit that one real quick. So Mike Payton, big shout out to him. You guys know who he is. He's one of the better writers around the area. Sometimes he gets himself in trouble. And by the way, Mike, my heart, man, still with you right now over the loss of your father. Man, it's huge. That's huge. And wish you nothing but the best with all that, you and your family. So he has an article here about thousands of Lions being lied to. And this is talking about all of the AI that's out there. And I mean, all these crazy sites that you're seeing now. So I just want to touch on this for a brief moment because I thought it was a well-timed article. I really did. Headed into the season, man, there's so much BS. There's so much BS that's going to be said. All the clickbait out there that, you know, people are going to drop. I don't know why you guys click on it, but I guess you do. It is what it is, but I just have a hard time doing clickbait. It's just not me. We'd rather try to get you some real honest information best we can. All right, let's roll to the screen. And then we're going to scratch his ticket and see if I'm a millionaire again. All right, here goes. It's called Thousands of Detroit Lions fans are being lied to, and now some media outlets are believing it too. Beware of the AI slop. That is such a great term. AI slop. Mike Payton, this was later, this was about 7 hours ago today. So he says, I honestly didn't think that we would, or that there would be a reason to write a follow-up piece to an AI-themed article I wrote a few weeks ago. Mike, you got a spell check in there. Article. Just letting you know. But anyway, he says, I've learned so much since then. Something big happened in the NFL world this week that shows both fans and media need to be very careful with the info that they consume and aggregate. Let's rewind it a bit. A few weeks ago, I wrote an article about stuff like this that is blasting all over Facebook and tricking a ton of Lions fans believing that it is real. Oh, Detroit Gridiron Heroes. That's right. I forgot. Yeah, they're terrible. The Post, Aiden Hutchinson donates $12.9 million bonus in sponsorship earnings to a homeless shelter initiative to help fund 150 units of housing with 300 shelter beds. I can't imagine that would cost $12.9 million bucks, but anyway. Quote, I've seen the effects of homelessness firsthand growing up, and fake quote, I've seen the effects of homelessness firsthand growing up. No, he didn't. And I knew if I ever had the means, I'd give back in the meaningful way. Aiden Hutchinson said in a press conference, quote, fake quote, no one deserves to sleep on the sidewalk. What the F, man? First of all, Aiden's dad played in the league. I'm sure that they're pretty well off. And he didn't witness homelessness firsthand. And then they take these. Look, I mean, I like the idea of these little, one-bedroom pods. I love it. I think it's a great idea. And I think that we should just buy up some land and we should do this. Honestly, let's all pool our money together. Let's buy up some land. Let's get all the homeless and I don't know, put them over in Ann Arbor. I'm just kidding. Put them right next to the University of Michigan. Give them a spot. Give them free tickets to the game. All the, leftover hot dogs. Look, all the leftover food from Ford Field. Send it to them, man. Look, I'm trying to mix the funny with a nice thing. I'm trying. stuff like this just it gets at me, right? One, because I've always wanted to do something nice for the homeless. I think that there's a lot that can be done. I think there's a lot that that's being missed on. And to see stuff like this, it's mind-boggling as to why people would even put this crap together. So that's one of the stories, right? And like Mike says, look, this is an amazing story, right? A player's giving up his $12.9 million bonus to help homeless shelters. It's easy to believe because Aiden Hutchinson is a really good guy and does charity stuff. But this is not true. I mean, it's so far from the truth. It didn't stop 487 people from commenting or 1.2 thousand people from sharing. 1,200 shares. I can't even get 10. And this bullcrap gets 1,200. So they're making money off it, right? How about this one? Finn's Extra. This is another fake quote. You couldn't find this quote anywhere, which is what Mike Payton said. He says it right here. The thing is that this quote can't be traced back to anything that ESPN ever wrote or put on a video, and it's because Lamb never said it. And here's the quote. I understand why the Eagles reached 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. Players are never late, never toxic, and after every practice, the room spends 15 minutes sharing personal struggles. I'm not even going to click show more. It's just BS. This was back June 22, 2025 is when it came out on Facebook. Peyton goes on to say that the reason he had to do this, Peyton went on to say that he took to his Instagram on Monday to let the world know that he never said this and doesn't know where it came from. And the reason he had to do this is that a ton of outlets with real credibility wrote articles about it. And the story blew up in Miami, enough to get back to Lamb. This is crazy. He says that their own Kyle Krabs, that's a funny name, who is also the host of Locked On Dolphins, traced the quote back to an AI slop site with another weird name. Where is it? Oh, FanHub. So here's my advice to everybody. Take a look at the dot, right? What's after the dot? If it's a biz, if it's an info, if it's a UK, especially if it's a UK, do not click, right? One, you don't know what they're trying to embed on your phone or your laptop or your desktop, the malware and everything else that can be involved in it. Just don't do it. But, you know, in the realm of talking football, I mean, look, just everyone can tell you that this stuff is fake. Just by reading some of this crap, all you have to do is copy this, right? Go into Google and post it, right? And see what it spits. Ask AI if it's true. Sometimes AI will give you information and say that it's true, and I've literally told AI, you're wrong. This is a fake story. This comes from a fake site. And it's like, oh yeah, you're right. That is fake. I'm sorry. Well, that's why AI is a problem. It's a big problem. It's going to help us do a lot of great things. And at the same time, it's going to give us shit like that. Sorry. But yeah, AI is a big problem. And I just wanted to point this out too, because one, I think it's a great job, Mike Payton. Good job on putting this together. But also, I believe that there's going to be a lot more of this coming out this year. AI is graduated big time. It's flying. I mean, it's faster and faster and faster every day at learning. So much so, I mean, they offered me $150,000 for my channel, this channel, just to learn from me. All of my videos, they were going to pay me, and I wasn't guaranteed all of it. And I told them no. I'm like, I'm good. Because the next thing you know, I'm going to see myself on a video that's not even me. Or I'll hear my voice on a video and it's not even me. So I'm not going to participate. I don't care about the money. You guys already know that. I don't care about the money. It's just, man. Oh, what happened with J-Rod? How far back am I going? What did I miss? I don't know. Could someone let me know in the mods chat? Unless you already did. Did I miss something? All right, we're going to do the scratch. See if we won anything. Yeah, is this the real Will talking? Isn't that crazy? Oh no. J-Rod's father passed away last night. I'm so sorry, J-Rod. Man, dude. I am so sorry, man. Hearts out to you, buddy. Bad news, man. Bad news twice in a week. Keep your head up, man. Take a break. Seriously. Take a break. I'm sure he's not in the right place, right where you want him to be, but I'm sure he's in a better place. Maybe where he needs to be, but heart's with you, man. Oh, it's even hard. It's even hard to scratch this thing now. 71 years old. Wow. Seems pretty young for today, you know? Got to value life. I know that I do. After going through cancer, still going through it. And seeing what it does to people. Megan's going through it. You never know. That's why I started doing this. I wanted to live my dream. And, you know, for people just like J-Rod or Mike Payton that lost their fathers in the last week to 10 days now, you just never know. So you got to live it to the fullest, people. You got to live it to the fullest as best you can. All right, I'm going to scratch it. What do we win? Let's take a guess. Put it in the chat. So it's 5 times. And I think the lowest amount that I can get is $10. So it'd be 50. Because it's a $10 ticket, I don't think that there's anything less. Yeah. Lowest prize amount's $10. It's called Electric Hundreds. So I'm sure there's a lot of $100 prizes. Hey, let's just hope it says $1 million or 250K or even 100K or something. So here we go. Oh, man. All right, show's over. We'll see you in a couple years. No, I'm just kidding. It was $10. So that's 50. But you know I wouldn't just do that, right? We got an extra one. I wouldn't just do one. This one, I'm just going to scratch it. Scratch it, scratch it. The reason why I don't like to play these things. Uh-oh. Big multiplier usually means a big loser. Or a big winner. I guess if you look at it that way. Come on. Show me the light bulb. Oh, no light bulb. All right. Well, that's it. Y'all have a wonderful night. I think we got to all the topics I wanted to get to tonight. We've got some videos that we're loading up. A whole series coming out soon. I'm not going to tell you what the series is because I don't want people to steal it from me. So that's it for tonight. We'll see you back here on Thursday. And Maureen, that's $40 because the stupid ticket cost 10 and I lost 10 on this one, so that's $30 now. Got $30. So hey, it's a free $30. Maybe we'll just do tickets on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We'll start a whole new channel. You guys can buy the tickets. We'll scratch it. Whatever we win, we share. How about that? Anyway, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'll be on Off the Cuff. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 a.m. Rise and Grind Morning Show. Special editions will pop. Breaking news will pop if we need it. But we got a house that we're getting up to sale, getting ready to put up for sale, and I got a ton of stuff to do. So I got to get it done before training camp because then it's all football. And she knows that. So, all right, y'all. Have a wonderful night. Go in pride. Go Detroit Lions. You know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend. Be a friend. See you tomorrow. J-Rod. Hearts with you, buddy. Take care.
The podcast.